Hello Tom, thanks once again for your video presentation of the question of community, what's it about, what's it for, and connected with YouTube of course. Well, this is what I feel about the matter. I feel that now is the time for the community to really come forth, to really show itself, to be what I'm sure it was originally intended to be, a means by which individuals can communicate with one another. Let me tell you a story. There was a guy on YouTube, and following advice from a law enforcement agency, because of threats he'd received via YouTube, he closed down his channel. And at that time I'd had some contact with him, and when I discovered that he had closed his channel, I found that I had a very interesting response to this. I actually felt sick inside, as if a friend of mine that I knew and met daily had been hurt by somebody, and there was that frustration that he'd been hurt, and there was that frustration that I couldn't do anything about it to help him. And I began thinking about this because I realised that this man who'd been a face on the screen wasn't a face on the screen anymore. Through the dialogue that we'd had together, I'd begun to discover what made him tick, and he began to discover what made me tick. And I thought this was great. And suddenly to have that taken away from me, I found actually very distressing. And of course that was it, because I was actually forming a relationship with somebody through YouTube. He lived thousands of miles from where I live, comes from a different culture, and yet there was that common bond of humanity which had drawn us together over various questions and attitudes that people have to other people. And suddenly I realised, hey, this is what the community is about. And since that event, I haven't put up too many videos, and the reason is because I don't quite know how to respond, because it knocked me sideways. Now, if it can knock me sideways, what we're talking about here is genuine community, with people genuinely having real feelings towards situations that affect others. Let me tell you a little story, a little bit funnier than that one. Last night, coming home on the train from London with my wife, it was late at night, and there was a little bit of a kerfuffle, a little bit of an argument at one of the stations, and two young men were put off the train. When we arrived at our hometown station, there was an apology from the driver over the loudspeaker system, explaining that that our 8-minute delay was due to two Muppets having to be put off at such and such a station where they could spend the night in the sidings. And for those who don't know, in English, a Muppet means somebody of a foolish character or disposition. Anyway, what happened was there are people sitting across the aisle in the carriage from my wife and I, and the man and his wife. She was asking the question, oh, Muppet, I wonder if they're numpties. Now, right here and now, I can't give you a clear definition of what a numpty is, but it's pretty close to that of a Muppet. But the whole point is it got a conversation going. Suddenly, instead of being travellers, we were a community talking about these two guys. And so in adversity, we'd been, as it were, drawn together. It was an unpleasant experience, but the officials on the train handled it very well. And so we were drawn together. Now, that's like the YouTube community. Surely that when things go wrong, we can draw together. What is wrong about the corporate approach? Nothing at all. It's just boring, because it's predictable. You know what Opera did last week, the week before. I don't even watch those shows because I haven't got television, but I have seen them occasionally when I've been in other people's houses. And what I've noted is this: you stick a man or a woman on a seat, at a desk, on a sofa, you stick other people who may or may not be celebrities. They may just be a very unhappy couple. They may be a couple who've got a problem of some character, whether financial or whether obesity or whatever it is. You stick them there. Basically, this is entertainment, because that presenter of that program becomes like a bullfighter, actually playing the bulls, bringing out the perversity of the human character. But it's phony. It's a phony situation, and to be honest, the people may be real and they may be actually seeking real help, but the help they're given is what the corporate people, the corporate program makers want us to see. Here on YouTube we have the opportunity to have people to show what really matters in their lives. Yes, it can be cats with funny headgear. Yes, it can be hamsters flying off wheels at a rate of knots. But why not? Who's to say that isn't more interesting and more important than some of the rubbish that's shown on corporate television? And so my thinking is this: YouTube must have been created for a purpose. It wasn't to show us television programs. I freely admit I look at the television programs on YouTube. Some of them, not all of them obviously. And you know, I see the clips of something that may interest me or not. But the real thing that matters is real people and what they're like, and the bizarre things they do, because we're all bizarre. Furthermore, each and every one of us has something to contribute, and half the time we're looking at the corporate thing, and we're looking at the corporate image put out by the big companies, and we're saying, okay, well, we're not clever enough, we're not handsome enough, we're not beautiful enough, we're not bold enough. That is rubbish. Every single person in the YouTube community has something to offer, whether it's just sitting back and chatting about what they went through during the day, whether it's showing what their pet can do, whether it's showing what their home is like, whether it's showing what their hobbies are like, whatever it is, making stuff, painting stuff, drinking Coke with Mentos. But I have this funny feeling that when, as Renato featured on one of his latest videos, when you get representatives of YouTube basically saying and supporting and saying actually what it's about is this corporate stuff, something's gone horribly wrong. Something's gone horribly wrong. Maybe I've misunderstood, but I would make this plea. Let's all get out there and just make videos of what we like, about who we are and what we want to see. And the only beef I have concerning this wonderful medium are the haters. But we've all suffered from them, haven't we? But let's not include YouTube management in with the haters. And so I would appeal directly to them. Don't be stupid. Don't make asses of yourselves like you did when you started taking off Mikma's comments. That is just such a stupid thing to do. Why? Because it's the people like Mikma who make YouTube what it is, a community. And if you want to have something corporate, then go somewhere else and do a corporate thing. Do a corporate YouTube channel for the corporate people. But leave this wonderful gift of YouTube to us ordinary folk, because we can use it. Sure, we make mistakes. Sure, as you said, Tom, we're not professionals, and so not all the pictures are that great either. They're all fuzzy and what have you. But hey, that's down to the technical guys at companies like Logitech to produce better quality material than they're producing at the moment. Simple as that. So, and all these things will improve in time until everybody gets the crystal clear images that you do. But then, you know, okay, you get what you pay for. Tom, thank you. Let's keep fighting for this whole issue that YouTube primarily has got to be about community. Because, do you know, it's the people that matter, not the medium.